Hi, I'm Ellen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm setting up my bullet journal for 2021 and I am starting a new journal, so I'm super excited about that. And you can see all of the spreads I do at the beginning of a new bullet journal. I'm also setting up January so that I just have one video, have it done, especially because I'm a little bit late to the game with this video, but I hope it helps you out anyways, or you just enjoy seeing how I've set up my bullet journal. Without further ado, let's get into it.
This year, I finally decided I was going to try the Archer and Olive dot grid journal, and I have to say, so far I am loving it. I am going to have all of my materials linked in the description down below, so if you're interested, you can go check it out there. I'm just starting off by putting my name into the front cover, and then I always skip the very first page. I feel like it doesn't lay quite nicely, and I don't know, I get nervous about first pages. So on the second page, I am doing a dot grid spacing page. I'm writing in the number of dots along the top and bottom, so I know how many there are. And then I'm doing common divisions, so I usually use halves, thirds, and fourths in my pages, so I'm putting those in here so that I can reference it when I'm making different pages and set them up a little quicker. And then on the other side of this 2-page set, I'm doing a little typography moment, and it says 2021. I am using a couple different font styles and just playing around with it. I wasn't really sure what theme I wanted to go for this bullet journal. I really have been liking pastel colors, so I use a lot of those, but I love the look of bold typography as well, so I figured, you know, it's my bullet journal, I can do what I want with it. So I did both, and I really like the way this turned out. I don't do a ton of typography, but it's definitely something I'd like to practice more and improve at. The next pages I am setting up are my future log pages, so for these I put in a mini calendar at the top for each month, and then I write the number of days in each month down the side so I can add in different events or things going on there. I really didn't change the way these pages are from my previous year's journal. If you want to see how I set that one up, I will link the video up in the cards for you, but it's pretty simple. I add a little sun to show that Sundays are the last day of my week. I put in the months, and then I draw a little line to separate the top section and bottom section. And then the last thing that I do is I highlight all of the weekend days. I think that it gives it some nice separation, and I love the little bit of pink. It matches the cover, which I really like. So these 2 pages are for the first half of the year, and I set up the next 2 pages for the second half of the year off camera just because it's exactly the same, but there's a look at those. The next set of pages I kind of stumbled into last year without intending to. Basically, I just have a little space for each month in the year, and at the end of that month I will write a little journal reflection on things that happened that month. If you want to see what it looks like filled out, you can check out my 2020 bullet journal flip through video. I'll have it linked in the cards and down below, but it's really fun to look back on and kind of have a full recap of the year across 2 pages. I also wanted to leave some space to create a 2021 vision board. I did this last year as well, but I just cut out some pictures and things that inspire me and put them in there. The next pages are a look back at 2020 and looking forward to 2021. So I had similar pages last year but didn't end up using them. So for this go around, I decided to make different sections that would help me structure my journaling and reflection. So I'm doing my favorite moments and things from 2020, lessons I learned, and things I'm going to leave behind. I also added a section for my Spotify Wrapped. I feel like I kind of love and kind of hate Spotify Wrapped, but I thought it was a fun thing to look back on, so I added everything in there. I definitely feel like it's weighted towards the beginning of the year, and so some of the top songs kind of make me scratch my head, but you know, BTS as my #1 artist, that definitely tracks, so I guess they must be knowing some things. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel like your Spotify Wrapped was accurate or a little bit whack. Now heading over to the 2021 side, I have a couple of different sections that I am going to journal on. So the first is a goals section. So this is just somewhere to jot down the things I'm going to try and do in 2021. I also made a section for things that I'm looking forward to, and another section for manifestations, which is a little bit similar to goals, but kind of dreaming bigger and a space to speak things into existence, if you will. You'll also see a couple of words along the top, and I actually picked those from a little graphic I saw on Instagram that was like a word search, and it said the first 4 words that you see are going to be important for you in the new year. So for me, those words were alignment, breakthrough, self-care, and lessons. These next pages are my book log for 2021. I got a lot more into reading again in the second part of 2020, and so I thought I would be ambitious and shoot for 25 books this year, and I'll write a title into each of the sections on here. Hopefully they all fit okay. Some of the books sections are definitely bigger than others, but I thought it was fun kind of sketching them into a heart shape. And then the other half of the page is kind of more journaling space, so I'll write down the title and author of the book, as well as some takeaways, because I want to be a more active reader this year and really absorb things from the books I'm reading. And I feel like there's always something you can learn from a book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. So hopefully these pages will help me do that. This next page is one that I pulled from Amanda Rach Lee's bullet journal setup, and it's a list of things to check out, so movies, TV shows, podcasts, and books that have been recommended to me by friends. If you have any recommendations for me, please do comment them below. I would love to hear what your favorite books and movies are. The next page is super simple. It is just a space to put YouTube video ideas. If you don't do YouTube, you can make a brain dump space for whatever else it is that you need. Remember that bullet journals are supposed to be very customizable and made just for you. Now I am moving into my January monthly setup, so I found these different scrap pieces of paper and wanted to use them. I thought that yellow was very January to me. I don't know why. I love using different scrap pieces of paper though, because it's a way to make your bullet journal look nice without too much effort. The rest of my pages, I just used that yellow marker and kept things very simple. I always like to have a standard monthly calendar. I feel like I'm so used to them just from years of using this style that my brain is kind of organized this way anyways, so I need to have it. So for this one, I just made a little square for each day of the month, and I'm actually outlining them, but I fill in the rest of the background space with the yellow markers, so if you see any undrawn lines, it'll magically disappear. One of the other reasons I like having sort of simple monthly setups is that it gives me space to be creative throughout the month, so I could definitely see myself coming back in later and adding in flowers or lemon doodles to this page, but for now I like that it's just really simple, has the days of the weeks, the numbers, and January. My next page is a content planning page, so I make a smaller monthly grid where I can plan out what videos I'm going to make during the month and when I'm going to upload them. I also like to add in how many subscribers I have at the beginning and end of a month, and the bottom half is where I track what stage of production each video is in. The other side is my gratitude page for the month, so every day I'll write a couple of little things I am grateful for, and this has been something I've done a lot more during quarantine, and it really helps me appreciate the things that are still good in life. Now we are moving into the weekly pages for January. I decided to do a Dutch door style for this month because I haven't done it in a while and I feel like it's kind of fun. Another reason I did it is because I feel like one of the reasons I don't use my habit trackers is because turning pages to get to it can be annoying at times. So on one part of the Dutch door that will always be seen throughout the month will be my habit tracker, and on the other side is just a mini calendar so that I can look over and see it. Here I am rounding off the corners. This is a scrapbooking tool my mom had. It's definitely a little extra to have a tool just for that, and you can totally use scissors if you don't have one. I do feel like the rounded corners make it feel a little bit more polished. Here I'm sectioning off the parts that will be seen regardless of what week it is, and then I'm starting in on setting up the first week of January. On the left side I am having a events section. This is where I'll write down things that are generally happening for certain days. And then on the right-hand part of the weekly spread, I'm doing a running task list. So this lets me write down the different things I need to get done, and I can mark out when I'm thinking about doing it, and then when I actually complete the task. I love this setup for weeks where I have a lot to do, but not specific days or times I need to do them, which is exactly what the first week of January will be since I will be moving back to Denver. Here's where I'm adding in the little section that's going to be seen regardless of the week that has my little baby calendar. I'll probably add some different doodles and things to this section later, but for now it's pretty simple. Then moving on to the other side, which has my habit tracker, I'm putting in the number of days in the month down the side, and then I'm putting in the 6 habits that I'll be tracking for January, which are exercise, having 1 or fewer alcoholic drinks in a day, not spending any money, journaling, reading, and reading the news. And that completes my new bullet journal setup. I'm going to do the rest of my weekly pages as they come. So now we'll do a little flip through of all the pages, starting with my grid spacing and my year title page. Then I have my future log. I don't know what it is, but I find these future log pages so satisfying to look at. I don't really know what to call these next pages, maybe year in review, but it'll be where I add a little summary of each month. Here is space for my vision board. Then some space to look back on 2020 and look forward to 2021. Hopefully having these different sections helps me to actually fill these pages out. I really love the way my book pages turned out. Just a note, I did not come up with the heart book thing. I saw it on Instagram a long time ago. Just can't remember who it was that did it. Here are my recommendation and brain dump page. And finally getting into my January pages. I like the kind of scrapbook feel of that first page. I feel like I'll add more of those elements later, but the rest of it is very simple, just using that yellow marker and kind of going back to basics for the first month of this year, allowing space for future creativity and just focusing on the functionality of these spreads and what I'll really be needing this month. I think the Dutch door setup will be really nice for keeping track of all of my habits and staying consistent with that. That is all of the pages I have for my new bullet journal. I can't wait to see what 2021 brings.
I hope you enjoyed seeing how I set up my bullet journal. I think this just goes to show how simple you can make bullet journaling if you want to. It's all about making it what you need. So you don't need tons of different markers and washi tapes and this and that. You don't need all of those supplies. All you really need is a notebook and a pen, and you can make something beautiful, or at the very least something functional for you. I think that's the most important part. Hopefully you got some inspiration or just enjoyed watching, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye!